Ever looked at a person and realized something that we don't normally see because we're all living in our own worlds? Ever looked at a person and realized that we are all just trying to be happy? We are all trying to find peace. We are all trying to minimize our suffering. And we are all trying our best. It might even seem like some of us have given up because we've been through a lot that we don't believe that we can ever be okay. Ever been through so much that you don't think you can ever be okay? Ever been through so much that you think that you are supposed to suffer? We are all going through something in this realm, and it's very difficult because we don't really have an understanding of what this is. We don't really have an understanding of what we need to be doing. What's motivating us to do anything at all is it's fear of suffering. This realm knows exactly what we're afraid of. We're afraid of suffering. We don't want to suffer from loneliness. We don't want to suffer from embarrassment. We don't want to suffer from illness. We don't want to suffer from lack. We don't want to suffer from uncertainty. We don't want to suffer. So this room is like, all right, well, make you do what I want you to do by threatening you. Like, if you don't do what I want you to do, then you're gonna suffer. Do you want to suffer? And you're like, no. Okay, I'm gonna do what you want to do, what you want me to do. I'm gonna work that 9 to 5, even though it feels like a scam, because I'm afraid of suffering. Yeah, working that 9 to 5 is suffering, but it's nothing compared to being homeless. So, and I don't want to be homeless. So I'm going to choose that 9 to 5. I'm going to suffer. I'm going to choose my suffering, and it's going to be that 9 to 5. I'm going to choose my suffering, and it's going to be hard work. I'm going to work very hard. I'm going to believe in these fake religions because I want comfort. I want to be part of a community. I don't want to feel alone. I'm scared of loneliness. I mean, if I don't believe in anything, how am I going to live life? How am I going to feel? If I'm going to be real and be honest, what if everyone that I love leaves me? How am I going to feel? I can't stand being alone. We're all trying to be happy, man. And if we saw that in each other's eyes, like when you meet a new person and you see that this person has been through their they've been through suffering, and life has had them were wounded. Life has hurt them, and even if they don't behave well, what they really want is to be happy. What they really want is happiness, and this life doesn't give us that freely. It doesn't give us happiness freely. You can't just ask happiness from life and life offers you happiness and now you're happy. It doesn't give us that. It wants us to work for it. And sometimes it wants us to do a lot, like a lot. Like it makes us go too far for happiness. you know, something that I think should be free. I think happiness should be free. I think life should give us happiness without even us trying. I think we deserve it, considering the fact that we didn't ask to be here. So this world itself should try its best to keep us entertained, not to enslave us and torture us. Because I think that's what's happening to most of us. Like we were cooked, we are cooked. The whole generation is cooked. It's like no one cares about us. No one cares about you as a person. Everyone looks at you as a resource, basically. Like they want to get something from you, and that's the only way that they can care about you. That's the only way that they can love you. You get what I'm saying? So the world also looks at you that way. Like, okay, what can I get from you? What can you offer me? If you don't offer me what I want you to offer me, then it means it's suffering for you, bro. It means you suffering. It means you being tortured, period. Like I'm not gonna give you the things that you want, and I know you're gonna suffer. And until you figure out a way to give me what I want. So everyone feels alone, because you always have to have something to offer. So every day people wake up like, I'm trying to find something that I can offer the world so I can get what I want because I'm tired of suffering. I'm tired of being alone. There's a lonely man who's in his room right now, feeling totally alone, feeling totally suicidal, asking himself how can he even find love because he has to have something to offer, and the world it's not making it easy for him to get something that he can offer, something that's gonna make people be like, okay, I want to be in your life. So now he's dealing with loneliness, and no one cares about him. You know, like, we're cold toward that man. We're so cold that we'll never understand his pain and his frustration. In fact, if he tries to express his frustration and his pain, we treat him like a loser. We feel like he deserves to suffer. You know, somehow we act like he deserves to suffer. Like the way we respond to him, it's as if he deserves suffering. I remember I told you about this lady. I watched a video, and her video, even though I knew that that's how it is in the world, but it kind of it made me realize how right I've been about these things. So this lady, there's this guy who's homeless. She's giving him food. She's giving him clothes. Sometimes she does give him money. Sometimes. So this other day, he decides that he wanna make his move. This lady goes on TikTok, talks about him. She's so angry, so offended, like he's so undeserving of love. Basically, that's what she's saying. Like that's the part of her that felt offended is the part of her that feels like he's undeserving of love. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't deserve to be loved. He deserves to be lonely. And that shows you how brutal, how cold, how indifferent, how uncaring the universe is. We cooked. There are a lot of people who don't have what they want. I remember a few years ago, I watched a video. There was an event at my primary school. I think they held this event in 2001. Yeah, in 2001. Uh, so they shot a video. So I came across that video, uh, like maybe 20 years later. 20 years later. So I'm watching that video and I see this little kid, man. This little kid standing alone. He was standing like this, alone. Everyone is socializing, everyone is playing. This kid is just standing alone and he's looking at the camera. Bro, I never felt like crying like I felt like crying that day. I'm seeing this kid. That kid is me, bro. I'm like, I remembered how I was feeling that day, how alone I was feeling and how alone I would feel growing up. I'm like, damn, man, we in pain, Like if we knew what other people are going through internally, and we should stop this thing of trying to come up with easy solutions. Like, hey, just appreciate just this. Like, that's you're trying to insult the person who's telling you how they really feel. You know what I'm saying? People do try to find answers and they start with easy answers. I want you to realize that. So you offend the person, right? Oh, just try to be happy, just try this and that. Like, nah, man. But yeah, it reminded me of how I used to feel when I was a kid, and it made me realize that we all have our stories, we all have our sad stories. Like if we truly got to understand we what others have went through, I mean, we'll cry, man. Like if you were to see life from other people's perspectives, like where they come from, why they are the way that they are, why that person got triggered one day and attacked another person, why that person say the curse word the other day, why Will Smith slapped Chris Rock the other day, uh why someone is in jail, why someone decides to be alone and not even want to socialize with anyone, why someone doesn't want to do anything at all, why someone ended things, why, you know what I'm saying? You'll cry if you truly got to experience what it's like to be another person. So the problem is we're all living in our own world. Life didn't give us uh, the ability to see life from other people's perspective. So we can never truly know what it's like to be in someone's world, to see what they see, to feel what they feel. You can't even know if my pain is your pain. Like if we experience pain the same way. If I say I feel alone, you might not really know what that means. You know, you will just try to think of how you feel when you feel alone. You know, we're cooked, man, in this realm. We are actually cooked, and it doesn't seem like there's anything that's gonna change. It seems like this is the story of pain, misery, suffering, torture, slavery. You know, like we'll never truly be satisfied. We'll never truly be okay. We'll never stand together as society and be like, it was all worth it. It was all beautiful. I love it. I truly enjoyed it. It seems like most of the time when we say that we are lying and we know that we are, maybe we are lying because we're trying to impress someone. If I post on Facebook that I'm happy, I'm coping, this is making sense, I'm trying to impress someone. There's a girl that I like and I want her to think that life is treating me well. So when she comes into my world, she's gonna be happy. While the real truth is that I'm cooked. And we're not built to truly love one another, to truly value truth, to see to see the truth in others. We like to hate, we like to blame, we like to compete. It's sad. The whole thing is a sad story. The whole thing, since the beginning, if you look at history, what humanity has had to go through, that's a sad story. It's always been conflict, always been struggle. Some people have been through so much that they can't cry anymore. Ever been like maybe they cry like if they do cry, they don't cry when they're in pain. They cry when they remember what they've been through, like how the pain was, what they've survived. Like pain itself doesn't make them cry. It makes them numb. You see, when you've been through a lot, you don't even feel pain anymore. You feel numb. Like you kind of deserve it. It's like I can't even feel anything. It's how it is here, man. I deserve this. It's pain. Life is painful. I deserve to feel this pain, and I must feel it. I remember when my dad passed away. I didn't look when people lose their parents, they cry, bro. They cry. When my sister texted me and told me that my dad passed away, I did cry. I was alone, but that was it. When I went and we started to do the things at the funeral, you would swear I was not in pain because I'm so used to pain that I'm able to manage it, right? Like you're so used to feeling pain that you're actually able to manage it. Usually, people who cry a lot when they lose their loved ones, it's people who have never felt a lot of pain. So it's kind of pain is kind of new. So but to me, it felt familiar. The pain felt familiar. This It was my first time having to deal with something like that, but the pain itself felt familiar. It's the pain that I've always felt, the pain that I could never find a way to get rid of. I think it's the pain of knowing that the world is not really good, but it's presented as something good. Do you get what I'm saying? So that feeling will always be there. My intuition is always going to be telling me that this is not good, man. This is not it. You go to school and you realize what's being done to you, and like, damn, this is not it. You go to work, you realize what's being done, like, this is not it. You go to church, you realize what's being done, like, oh, this is not it. You go online and you realize how people be communicating, how cold everyone is, how everyone is picking sides and all, and like, this is not it. We're actually cooked. Yes, the experiment itself is working. We are surviving. You know what I'm saying? Um, we are having this experience. It's a real experience that we're having, but it's not a beautiful experience. It's not beautiful. It's the way that I can put it is that uh it's bittersweet. And the sweetest moments are only there to set us up in a way. Like they're only there as a setup, basically. Like the whole thing is actually a setup. So when you experience this sweet moment, maybe you meet this girl and she's great. You're vibing with her. It's like a setup because love, the feelings that you have for each other, one day they will be over and you will do the most horrible things to each other. I just heard that Akon is getting divorced now. His wife wants a lot of money. You can't believe that these are people who used to love each other. These are people who used to post each other. Yo, you are the best thing that ever happened to me. Like the whole thing was a trick. It's like nature was tricking us to be like, nah, I'm gonna make sure that you guys lose feelings for each other at some point, and then boom, they lose feelings for each other, and they can't understand why they hate each other now. They can't understand that it's nature. It doesn't want to give people real happiness, lasting happiness. you know Allow people to feel what they want to feel for one another, allow people to actually love one another truly. That's why you can't really blame anyone. Looking at how things work in this realm, you can't, man. It's like people are controlled by their feelings, their hormones, and they don't know how to take their power back. They allow nature to control them. When you think of men who practice semen retention, who are doing no fab, no gooning and all of that, you'd realize how nature is fighting us. Like men know that they shouldn't be doing that stuff, because people can, like, if a person is willing to go that far, they kind of know that, okay, this isn't the life that I want to be living. I don't want to be controlled by my feelings, my hormones, and all of that. But nature is that powerful. So think about things that we don't even notice. The time when you found yourself hating someone for no reason, what causes that? You know, the time when you refuse to help someone but you helped another person, what causes that? The time that you fought with someone, what really caused that? Is it you? Did you really want to fight? You know what I'm saying? Did you really want to hate? Did you want to post that hateful comment online? Is it really what you wanted? Is that the world that you really want to live in? Or is just feelings that are controlling you? So you see someone online, you're like, I want to post something hateful. You're controlled by this thing. That's how cooked we are. It's not a beautiful experience that we're having. It's bittersweet. And like I told you, that the sweetness it's more like a setup. It's like there is something that you're supposed to be. Okay, the bitterness is what the world is about, but the sweetness is more like it's there to trick you. Basically, the whole thing is, it's like when you are having sex, when you ejaculate. Of course, it's nice, so that's what's sweet about the whole thing. But you know that you can knock someone up, and now you're gonna have to be a father. Well, even if you don't have a lot of money or know enough about humans to even raise another human, because it's a big deal. Raising another human beings are super complicated. So the sweetness isn't really for us to enjoy, but it's there as a trick. You see what makes it horrible? It's not about us enjoying, but the sweetness is there as a trick. Like, we're supposed to be tricked so that we'll keep on doing things that are going to keep this simulation alive, this simulation strong, basically, because we're the ones who actually make it strong. It's not. It's not it, man. It's not something that. It's not something that we would love if we were not humans, right? Like, if you were not a human, you wouldn't be able to love this. You look at it and it would just look very horrible to you. Like, damn, man, that's just, come on. The same way that when you look at the way that animals live, you're like, damn, that's just horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's because you're not a lion. When you see a lion chasing a gazelle, yeah, there'll be a part of you that want to save the gazelle. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not a lion. You don't understand fully why the lion wants to eat that gazelle and how the gazelle tastes to the lion. You just because you can't, like, you can tell the whole thing is wrong because you're not a lion. You are not being manipulated by the feelings of a lion. So now you're seeing things realistically. So if you are not a human and you look at humans, you look at envy, right? People be envious, people will be hating, one another. You'll be like, why? Why is this person envious? Why is this person horrible to this person? You know, why did that guy um, steal a lot of money that could have helped people? Like the guy who uh, stole like more than, I think he stole like 2 billion that was supposed to help patients in one of the hospitals here in Gauteng. You'd be like, damn, man, like if if like if you were not a human, you'll be able to tell that this is just horrible. Like, it wouldn't even make sense that a human would do that, and cause that much suffering. I was having a conversation with someone about this, the whole thing, like what happened at Tembisa Hospital. So I was like, when my dad collapsed and we took him to a government hospital in my town. It took hours for him to get help because there are not enough doctors. There are many qualified doctors who are sitting at home who don't have jobs. So there are not enough doctors, not enough nurses, not enough equipment, medicine, all of that. And people be stealing money for real. Like one of the biggest problems in South Africa is corruption. I mean, if people can steal 2 billion, like 2 billion is a lot of money, like a lot. Like it can change so many people's lives, like so many people's lives in South Africa. 2 billion. I remember I've worked for government. Um, I would see people buy something that's very cheap, but pay a lot of money so that they can get some money. And the whole thing is the setup. You ask yourself, does the president not know that that's how it works? Because if really you wanted to fight corruption, is the easiest thing to do. You understand? Like fighting corruption is the easiest thing to do. It's not rocket science. People are corrupt, bro. Like a lot of government officials are corrupt. In South Africa, if you have money, you can get away with almost anything. If the cops come to arrest you and you give them money, you good. Right? I remember someone who lived in South Africa, but now they live in America. They're talking about this on TikTok. They're like, in America, the difference between South Africa and America is that you can't. It's not that easy for you to bribe a cop, like a traffic cop. It's not that easy in South Africa. It's normal. Not only is it easy, it's normal. It's how it works. It's something that you know. Like if you're driving without a license and you meet a traffic officer, just give him money, you good. Like that's what's normal. And it's something that always happening. So if the government wanted to deal with corruption, then they will deal with corruption. So it seems like there is a force that is controlling those who are at the top, that's telling them what to do and what not to do, you know. So that is why there is so much suffering in the world, because they could make our lives very easy. They could fix a lot of problems with the money, that taxpayers are paying. It'll be very easy to change the world. Every country in the world would be doing well, really, if really it was about making people's lives better. If it was about making this human experience a quality experience. But you can tell it's not about that. It's actually about suffering. It's about torturing souls. uh so there will always be an excuse for creating suffering, right? um so that we will just think that, oh yeah, it's just humans that are bad. It's not like this realm itself is bad, but it's humans themselves, because human beings don't love one another. But why don't they love one another? You think they don't love one another because they just don't want to love one another? You think they're jealous of one another because they want to be jealous of one another? Do you think that a lion eats a gazelle because that's what it really wants? Like, if it was given a choice, would it want to hunt other animals for food? No. You can tell that the whole thing is set up. It's supposed to be bad. It's not supposed to work. There's supposed to always be problems, and we're supposed to be attempting to come up with solutions. But it's almost impossible, because not even almost, like it's actually impossible, because the simulation will start to collapse. The dream will start to collapse without suffering. If everyone was happy, everyone was doing well, and things were working the way that they should be working, or the way that we want things to be working, then the whole thing will literally collapse. It will fall down, and uh, it will never be able to rebuild itself. So it's a mess, man, and it really doesn't seem like things are getting better. I predict that 20 years from now, the number of people who are unemployed is going up. Like the number of people who don't have jobs is going up. And it starts in third world countries, right? It doesn't. You you start to see that, you know young people are struggling to get employment after they've went to university, and they are being blamed. They'll be blamed. Even their parents will blame them, like, oh, but your friend has a job, why don't you have a job? Like, it was easier for you to get a job in your time, but now it isn't. And what's even worse is that even if you do get a job, you still won't be able to pay your bills. Back then things were cheaper. It was much cheaper to get a house, but now it isn't. Now you can't just, wake up and be like, I'm going to buy a house. You know, it doesn't work that way. It, the way that the world works now is that it makes the people who are rich uh, become richer. Like, it's much easy to make money when we have money. But if you don't have money, it's very hard to make money. You're not going to have access to information. You're not going to go to the best school. You're not going to eat the food that you need to have energy to do anything at all. You're not going to have money to travel looking for a job. You're not going to have connections. A lot of kids who became, like, a lot of people who are around my age who became successful, it was already people who had connections. You find that the family is connected. So the people, they're connected with people that can help them, so they help them, right? That's how it works these days. So people who are rich keep on getting richer, while people who are poor keep on getting poorer. It's very easy for people who have money to make more money. It's the easiest thing now. Like, you don't even have to be an intelligent person. If you have a million, it's easy for you to make more millions. You don't have to be intelligent at all. You just have to want to make more millions. But if you don't have money, the money that you're making is for you to buy food, buy clothes. You can't have business ideas because it means you're not gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna wear anything. So you have to choose between wearing clothes, eating, and starting a business. So it's getting worse and worse for the people who are here. So I predict that 20 years from now is going to be much worse. Another thing that's making it worse is technology itself. And uh, it's not that technology is bad, but because everyone who has money would rather use technology to make more money than to employ people, and that's how it works, then it will be much easier for them to make money while not employing people, while not, you know what I'm saying? So if you are already poor, it will be much harder for you to make money, even like using technology. So back then it was much easier because a lot of jobs were done by humans. So the human beings were needed to work. But now you can actually use technology to edit your work. Like, if it'll become much easier if for an example there was a job for for an editor at a company. There was a position for the editor for a company, and they discover that they can use technology to actually edit their work without really spending much. Then they'll use technology. Technology is faster. Technology is always there. Technology doesn't get sick. You know what I'm saying? That's where it's getting to, really. It'll get to a point where we rely on technology. So those who already have money, they're gonna make money while using technology, and those who are poor are gonna remain poor, because where do they get their money in the first place? Not like you are given money just for existing, right? Just because you exist, so they give you money. Like, oh, Benedict, time you exist, damn, you deserve this amount of money. It doesn't work that way. It's either you're born in a rich family or you're not. It's either there's a person who's willing to give you money or there isn't, right? But to have access to money, it's not easy if you don't already have it. So that this generation is cooked, and the generation after this, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's gonna get much worse, and that's why, uh, I, me personally, I think it's a good decision to not be having children now. Like, look at where the world is going. Pay attention. Like, try to predict what's gonna happen 50 years from now. What your children will go through. You realize that, nah, man, like, people are cooked. Like, this isn't really the world that we must be happy to bring children into. It's just not it. It's not gonna end well. We have to understand something about our feelings. Our feelings are only there to make us do what the whole room wants us to do. But we can think. I don't think. I think someone asked me a question actually the other day. They were like, "You said that everything is scripted, meaning that even your thoughts, like everything is scripted. So even the things that you think, right? So you're not really in control." But I think our capacity to reason, that's not scripted. I think a person can reason and think in a way that make them see the truth that they were not supposed to see. I think that is possible. I think it's your ability to reason that's going to help you. It's your ability to judge. You might not choose what thoughts you think now, but to reason, you can choose to reason. You're like, you know what? I want to think this through. Yes, I do feel like I want to have a child now. I do feel like I found the love of my life now, but I have to think things through. I must, you know, look at how many people have gotten divorced this year, and why. Am I too special? Am I too lovable? Uh, you know, I must look at how many children are suffering right now. Am I too special in this room that I'll be able to control the fate of my children? I can guarantee that my children ain't going to suffer a lot in this realm. You start to reason, and you're like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is there a reason? Is there a good reason for me to bring a child here knowing they're gonna suffer? You see, I'm gambling with someone's life here. That's the truth. So is there a good reason? Can I truly justify? Find that you can't justify it. So it is better to try to reason without allowing your feelings, your emotions, and your hormones to control. You kind of detach yourself from all of this and just think as rationally as possible. I think that's how we get closer to the truth. The problem is that most humans are controlled by this, and they don't even realize that. Men think that women are emotional and they're controlled by emotions. No, women are just not afraid to to show their emotions. Let me put it that way. But men and women are controlled by emotions. The only people, whether it's a male or a female, that are not controlled by their emotions are those who reason. They look at a situation and be like, okay, I feel this way, yes, but should I do this? Does this make sense? No. So I'm not going to do it, right? I'm not controlled by my feelings. I'm not controlled by this. I'm the reasoning. So that's what's making me detach from this. That's what's helping me make rational decisions. So because most of us are controlled by our primal instinct, It doesn't get better. We're not fighting the matrix the way that we should be fighting it. That's the problem. You see, we don't even understand that we're in the matrix. We look at our feelings, and that, the feelings that make us feel good, and we're like, okay, just because this makes me feel good, it means that it's a good thing. But no, if you're in the matrix and you feel good about doing something, and your feelings are also controlled by the matrix, know that your feelings are misleading you, right? Maybe what you need to be doing to set yourself free isn't easy. That is why some of the people who reach enlightenment abstain from a lot of things that are that are enjoyable in this realm. Like, you know what, I ain't even gonna have sex. A person tells you that they haven't had sex in 10 years. You're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I haven't had sex in 10 years, bro. You know, they isolate themselves because they understand feelings, right? Feelings are what is controlling this thing. The animals, they keep on making decisions that are making their lives worse because of feelings. Animals that are in captivity will still procreate. They're gonna be like, but these humans don't respect us. I mean, they're gonna keep us here, bro. Why should we bring another child again? So that the child will be here and grow up here, and humans will pay money to come and see our child while our child is in captivity? No, we're not procreating. Even if they force us, we're not gonna do that, right? That's that animal starting to reason, starting to see how the matrix works, right? But if the animal doesn't think, just keep on procreating because they're giving it food, and it gets horny sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So we are also making things worse for ourselves because we do not reason, we don't think enough. We do think, but we don't think enough, right? We think with our feelings. It matters how we feel about something, and we relate good feelings with truth. So if you feel good about something, you're like, yeah, that's truth, that is what is good, that's how I must think, because I feel good thinking the way that I think, right? That is why people will, like, if you think in a way that makes you not to feel good, they will say you must get help so that you think in a way that makes you feel good, because they believe that thinking in a way that makes you feel bad is a bad thing. But not always. Sometimes you need to see things as they are. If you're in a bad situation, you must realize that you are in a bad situation, and you must try to figure out what you need to do in that situation. But if you're in a bad situation and you think you're in a good situation, what's going to happen? It means the situation is going to keep on getting worse. The situation is not going to stop getting worse. So it's important to be able to think thoroughly about things so that we make the right decisions. Because we cook, man. We're cooked. Not realizing that we're cooked is actually a bad thing, right? Not realizing that we're actually cooked in this room is actually a bad thing. Guys, let me take a short break. Let's keep on liking the live. Remember, the more you like the live, the more people are able to join. I'm going to take a short break. I'll be back in a second. When you look at the things that are happening around the world, you can tell we're cooked, man. The future doesn't look bright for humanity itself. It only looks bright for the system. The technological level that this world operates on is gonna make it easy for those who truly have power to control us, to spy on us, to study us, to create simulations where they can trap us. One of the scariest things for me about where we are going is that I think it's going to be possible to punish crimes using technology. Like it's going to be possible to trap someone in a simulation. And even if they know they're in a simulation, they won't be able to get out until, their time, they've spent their time, they've done their time. Imagine if you commit a crime and they say you must do 100 years and you're already 50. You're only going to do 100 years. You're probably going to die in 20 years, but they'll be like, yeah, you must do your time. Like, it's the level that the level of technology that we have cannot be used for positive things because we're still like we don't deserve this level of technology. It's like if you gave monkeys guns, right? Monkeys will just start shooting each other. They wouldn't use the guns to protect themselves. It would just be like, because they still control by their ego and feelings and all of that. So that's the problem with technology too. We wouldn't have reached a level where we would try to understand why does a person commit this kind of crime and how can we help them. Because you remember what I said in the beginning of this video? I said we're all trying to find happiness. We are suffering because we're all trying to find happiness. We're all trying to feel good. And we don't really know what to do. And sometimes when we're feeling bad, we do bad things. So it can happen that they trap you in a simulation and you can get out of that simulation. Like there's nothing you can do to get out, right? Even if you're like, okay, let me end things in this simulation, the whole thing's just start all over again. You're not getting out. You just start, and every time your life starts, maybe there's gonna be pain. There's gonna be a punishment for you trying to end things. So you try again, and it keeps on happening. So you just be stuck in that simulation. I remember there's a series. There's an episode of Black Mirror where this other guy was put inside a his consciousness was trapped inside a doll, so he couldn't even move. He would just be there watching everything while he was totally not in control. He was not in control at all. He just had to watch what was happening in the room. I remember someone uh, he spoke about the Salvia trip that they had, where they said they became a wall for like 6 months after taking Salvia. That made me laugh, but it also made me think, hey man, what if stuff like that is possible? Imagine how miserable you can be. So maybe in the future they will be able to punish criminals that way. They will, put you in a simulation and you're stuck in that simulation and you keep on experiencing the same things over and over again. Maybe you'll be stuck in a loop. So the same day is gonna be repeating itself with nothing new. Or you're going to keep on experiencing what you have done, right? Like the kind of crime that you've committed, even if it's by mistake. So it doesn't seem like life is going to get better for everyone. It seems like it's only going to get better for those who are already in control. But those who are not in control, things are going to be worse for them. It will be like if there was a king who was not good, who was uh, leading a lot of people, but this king was not good. If he got access to something that makes him more powerful, That means that things are going to be worse for those that he's leading, right? So his life is going to improve, but their lives ain't going to improve. So this is what's happening. The system is going to get better at uh like it's going to become like God, basically. Like it's going to get to a point where they can see everything, you know. It'll get to a point where you don't have privacy at all. They can see everything, and you might find that we are already there now. You know, you can find that it's very easy to spy on people. You know, it's very easy to control this simulation. I think that's what's going to happen. Is that it's going to become much easier for this for those who are truly in power to control the simulation. But while it comes much harder for us uh, to kind of like find our way in the simulation, because human beings do not care about one another. So those who are on top, they're not going to care about those who are at the bottom. That's not what they're interested in. They'll be interested in more control. Those who have power are interested in having more power, you know. So we're cooked, man. I think there will be a time where everyone will realize that, you know, like there will be a time where everyone is like, yeah, it's true. Benedict was right. We are definitely cooked, right? But it's not something that it's something that's gonna take. It's gonna take a few. Like people are waking up, people are realizing that we're cooked, but there will be a time where that's an undeniable. Like that's gonna be an undeniable thing. Everyone will see that. Oh yeah, everyone is cooked. There's never we ain't even gonna debate about it. It would be something that is so apparent. I think that's where we're going. You know that it's it's very easy it's very easy for those who are in power to control the world. We saw what happened 5 years ago. A lot of people didn't want to be treated the way that they were being treated, but those who truly have power were like, well, we don't care. We're gonna treat you how we wanna treat you. And if you don't comply, you will be punished. It will get to a point where they have so much power that they will actually make it over, like they will make their intentions obvious. They'll be like, you know what, we ain't even gonna manipulate you anymore. You're too powerless compared to us. Why should we be afraid of you? Why should we try to manipulate you if we're this powerful compared to you? We're gonna make our intentions clear. But if you don't feel that powerful, you will try to manipulate, you know. But if you feel that powerful, you will just control. You won't even be afraid to expose yourself, to show people who you are. So the system is gonna expose itself because it will be so powerful that there's nothing we can do to stop it. Even if we stand together as humanity and be like, yeah, now we understand that we're cooked. So this is what we gotta do. We won't be able to be successful. The system is gonna become like God, like a God that controls everything. Like that's what's gonna happen. You find that the system literally controls everything. Like they can even control your thoughts. They can even uh, create your dreams. If they want you to dream about things that you don't want to dream about, they can do that easily without you even knowing that they're doing that. So they just do that. And if they want you to know, then you'll know. But there will be nothing that you'll be able to do, you know, because you keep on forgetting your dreams anyway. It's not like you when you dream you realize that you're dreaming. So they'll make you know, they'll let you know that they can control your dreams at any time. And they'll tell you that you must do what we want you to do, otherwise we're going to give you a nightmare tonight, and you don't want to suffer in your dreams. You know, if you've had a nightmare, you know that you don't want to have a nightmare, you know, because it feels the way that it feels when you're having a bad experience. Yeah, you know, it feels the way that it feels like when you're having a bad experience here. So they'll tell you, they'll just threaten you. You'll be like, you know what, you don't want. You don't want to do what we're telling you to do? Fine, fine. Just make sure you don't sleep. Because if you sleep, the dreams that you're going to have are going to be so horrible. And you're not going to wake up, uh, you're not going to wake up from your nightmare until the nightmare ends. I think that's where we're going. The system will be too damn powerful that there's nothing we can do to stop it. So it doesn't make sense at this point for like people to believe in this realm. I think we must be focusing on gaining our power, not giving our power away. That's one of the biggest mistakes that people make. They give the power away and they want everyone to give the power away. What we should have been focusing on is being free. The first thing that we should have focused on when it comes to freedom is autonomy. Every human being must be autonomous, and then we focus on our freedom as a collective. We're like, yeah, we don't want to be spied on. We don't want you to know too much about us. We want to have some privacy. We don't want to be told what to do by few people. It must be the majority must still count, but also we must be allowed to think for ourselves, because even though it seems like numbers don't lie, really they do, because most of our ideas are not even ours. We're programmed to be what we are, right? You might find that you wouldn't think the way that you think, you wouldn't like the music that you like, uh, but because of how you've been programmed, like you've been groomed, so really your opinions ain't even yours. Is it a problem? Technology is more like witchcraft. Like there could be things that are being done to you that you don't even understand, because you don't even understand technology. You might find that there's technology that is just like that you can't even begin to understand. And I think that's how it works in this room. I think technology is being used to control us, but we don't even understand how that is happening, and so we don't even think that that is happening. The same way that if you used the technology that we have now to control animals, the technology that we know exists now to control animals, you'll be able to do that very easily, and they will not have any clue what is going on. You might find that they use technology to even control our emotions. If they want you to be angry, they make you angry using technology. And then you do something horrible, and we'll be like, what? We don't understand that technology was used to make you angry. I remember I told you about this AI movie that I've watched. What is it called? If you remember the movie, you can tell me in the comments. Um, so there was this robot that didn't know it was a robot at all. It thought it was a human, because it wasn't supposed to know that it was a robot. So in the movie you could actually buy a robot that looks exactly like a human, and when you activate it, you establish what they call a love link. So you give it false memories about you. So when it opens its eyes, it's not going to be like it has just started working at the time. No, no, no. Because it remembers the past, it thinks it existed, like it was born, it grew up, it thinks that it's a human, right? So yeah, this guy was dating this robot, and the robot was so in love with him, so in love with him, because well, it was supposed to be in love with him. It was able to control its feelings, right, using his phone. If he wanted it to be aggressive, he could make it aggressive. If he wanted it to be dumb, he could make it dumb. If he wanted to change its voice, I think it can get there. Find that they are able to control you, your feelings, your emotions. If they want you to be very hateful, very aggressive, you become hateful and aggressive, and in the end you blame yourself, but you don't know what is being done to you in this realm, because there's so much that we don't know. I think we should take it easy on ourselves, because there's so much that we don't know, and there's so much that we can't even control, right? There's so much we don't know, and there's so much that we can't even control. That's why I'm telling you that, this place can't be good if we do not have control, because things can be done to us, right? That's what really scares me, is that um, they can do things to people, uh, and this realm allows that. And there are things that are being done to people. People will tell you their stories, and you'll be like, "Damn, I can't believe you've had to go through that. That was horrible." It shows you that we're cooked, man. We don't even understand how this kind of technology is possible. The technological level that this world operates on is supposed to be impossible. So we don't even understand how this is supposed to be possible. And it's not being used to make things better for humanity. That's that's the worst thing about it. It's not being used to make things better for society, for humans. As It would be better if it was being used to make things better for everyone, because it will be possible. Like, it will be the easiest thing to do, but that's not what's happening. So it's safe to say we're not cooked. I mean, we are actually cooked. That the future isn't bright, and we must be very careful when it comes to giving our power away. We must be very careful. What I'm predicting is gonna happen is that there will be time when we'll be asked to give our power away, and there will be a high reward for it. I think it's the time when we as humanity should say no. We don't need a lot. A lot of the things that we have now, we don't need them. We don't need to be growing this fast technologically. We need to learn how to use technology uh, to our advantage first. Until we master that, there are things we don't even deserve. Until we master that, there are things that we don't deserve. That is why we're using technology to still do the things that we wanted to do in in the beginning. Like, let me give you this simple example. If you're already operating, you're still operating at a low level of consciousness. If you were given power to be able to do a lot of things that you can't do, like maybe read people's minds, control their feelings, uh control their destinies, you know what you'll do? You'll make their lives horrible. You make other people's lives horrible. If there's a person that you hate, you'll be like, "Oh, I can't make this person's life horrible," so you make their life horrible, right? So you don't deserve that kind of power. You deserve this level of power, where you don't have any superpowers, so you can just hate the person, yeah, from afar, basically, until you manage uh to work on that. And I know that some people will just suck, right? But and you're justified to not like them. This, sometimes not liking a person is a good thing, because some people really do suck. But we still deal with jealousy as humans. We still deal with hatred as humans. You find that if you had to ask yourself why you feel the way that you feel about that person, like, you wouldn't be able to, you know, you wouldn't be able to justify your hatred or your jealousy towards them. So it's just because you're a human. So yeah, it doesn't seem good, man. The future doesn't look good, and it doesn't seem like we're getting smarter. That's another problem. It doesn't seem like we're getting better as humans. Like, we have evolved. Like we are not the way that we were 500 years ago. It seems like humanity is not like, we have not evolved. Like, we're not smarter. We just have access to things. You know, we we have we can use cell phones. A person can think they're smart because they can use a cell phone. But if they created technology for dogs, and that was meant for dogs, dogs will be able to use that technology. So the technology that we have is because that we're able to use this technology because it's meant for us. They studied our brains. They know how we think. Yeah, they looked at our fingers. Like, okay, people will be able to type when they're using the laptop, when they're using a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Because the technology was designed for us. But if they design technology for dogs, dogs will also be able to use technology. So it's not even a sign of being smart or the, like it doesn't show that we have evolved. And it's not like we all can create technology. There's another thing, right? And that should also make us suspicious. It's not like, because here's the thing, man. When animals evolve, they will almost be on the same level. Like they will be able to do things that other animals can do. Birds that can build nests. All of them will be able to do that. Maybe some of them will be able to do it better than others, but all of them will be able to do that. Why is it that uh, most of us can't even create anything technological? Like we don't understand technology, like how these things are even possible. It feels like witchcraft to us. Why? And some people are able to create this stuff. Why is the gap too too high that it actually seems like we're not even the same species? So there's a part of me that's like, hey man, whatever is controlling us is not even like us, and it's giving us technology, making us think that we are the ones who discovered it, but no, it's actually giving us. So we're not inventing, we are discovering, right? We're not actually inventing technology. The technology that we have, it's being given to us. We just assume that it didn't exist. And maybe this is the same kind of technology that was used to create this whole thing. That's why it feels so damn scripted. It's because it is scripted. It's not even real. It's a simulation. I do not have a sign that we're not cooked. Born in a world that you didn't consent to be born into, where you don't have free will, where you can't control your feelings. It's like life happens to you. You don't know what happens after you die. You know that your memories can be wiped off. I mean, come on, how can you think that you're not cooked? Think about reincarnation trap. Like, yeah, what if I keep on coming back here, bro? Isn't it scary? Isn't it scary? What if death isn't even real? No one actually dies. You just keep on, the whole thing just keep on starting over and over and over again, and there's no end to it. That is really scary, bro. And we should be suspicious why we don't know anything. Someone asked, how do we even know that our history is real? Yeah, exactly. It seems like we're discovering some things now because they started existing now. So, but then we'll think, oh, we discovered this skull. It's a skull of a dinosaurs and they existed a million years ago. What if none of that is true? These things are being planted, but we're giving these things a background story. Discovered the Gnostic scrolls, and we think, yeah, these things, they existed like many years ago. Like there were people who wrote this stuff many years ago. We're just discovering these things now. What if these things were planted? You know, we must ask ourselves a lot of questions about this reality because there's so much that we don't know and we're too damn limited. You know, We can't remote view. Some people say they can, be like, yeah, I went to Iraq, I went to this place. Be like, yeah, but you gotta provide proof. I remember there was this guy that I came across this channel. Well, not this channel, was actually being interviewed. So he was talking about three eye atlas. He was saying that it's aliens. Actually, these aliens are coming back on Earth to get these star seeds. Right, they're coming for the star seeds. They're coming to take the star seeds, and people believe that. You know, but how many people have been making things up? It's human nature to make things up. So he said you use remote viewing to communicate with these aliens. You're like, yeah, but you also got to provide some proof. Let us see that you really can see things that we cannot see. Maybe we will believe you. But if you're just like every one of us, why should we trust you? Why should we believe you? We've had people saying the world was ending. Sometimes you think that a human wouldn't come up with that kind of a lie because you wouldn't come up with it. Like I wouldn't tell people that the world is gonna end on the 1st of December if I know it's a lie. Like why would I make up that kind of a lie? Just for attention, so that people can talk about me, just for money, just for fame. You know what I'm saying? But some people can do that. Some people are capable of that level of lie. You know what I'm saying? So it can be a beautiful it can be a beautiful thing for people to lie about these kind of things, but it also shows you what we want to be able to do as humans, like how limited we are. It would be good if we're able to see the future. Like when you make a decision, you're able to see where the decision is going to lead you. Having more control would be better. I'd be like, okay, here's what I want to experience, so let me see what decisions I need to make to have that kind of experience. So you're kind of creating your own life, your own experiences, and you're having these beautiful experiences that you want. So every experience that you have is going to be beautiful because you are creating it, right? But now, bro, life is just happening to you. You make a decision, even if it's a good decision, but things still don't go your way. You're like, damn, man, what do I do? You save money, you lose it. You start a business, it doesn't work. You try to win the lottery, it still doesn't work. You could try to make things happen for you, but it still doesn't work. And you could just live your life not caring about nothing, and still things still go your way. You just keep on winning. I remember when Khabib won his last fight in the UFC against Justin Gaethje. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know why God keep on blessing me. Like this feels impossible. Like I don't like. It feels like this shouldn't keep on happening, but it keeps on happening. I just keep on winning. I just keep on beating these guys. So it can happen that a person keeps on winning. It can happen that a person keeps on losing. Yeah. So we're too damn limited, man, to think we're not cooked. People talk about astral projection, but a lot of people can't do that. Uh, we don't want to be that limited. But I started talking about aliens that they be channeling. Like, yeah, I'm channeling this alien called Bashar, and he's giving me all these answers. And even if he was channeling this alien, how do we know that it has our best interest at heart? Because they could just manipulate us the same way that we manipulate animals. Animals that are dumber than us, will be manipulating them all the time, not for their best interest, but for our best interest. And one of the biggest signs that whatever is above us doesn't even care about us is a failure to give us information about what is really going on. As long as it's working, as long as we're alive and doing whatever controls this want us to do, be like, yeah, they're doing what we want them to do. Whatever we're doing, it's working. Yeah, they're suffering, but they keep on going. So yeah, it's working, right? We cook, man. Like this realm is not. It's not what it seems. Suffering wouldn't exist if really it wasn't about us suffering. We don't need suffering. It's suffering is not important. We could have a civilization where there's no suffering, where we have more power, where we're able to do a lot of things. I remember telling you about the TV series Invisible. So there's this race from this other planet called Viltrum. They call these beings Viltrumites. When they reach a certain age, they develop superpowers, and as they get older, they become stronger, right? But what's happening to us, it just sucks, bro. Like you hit the age of 30, it's all downhill from there, right? Once you hit, because when you are like, okay, between the age of 30 and 35, it's kind of like you are in your prime, right? And then from 36, it kind of like you start um like you you it's kind of like your body starts shutting down something. That is why athletes, perform better when they are between the age of 25 and 35, right? Soccer players, because they've matured. Like when they are 20, that's when their bodies are going to allow them to perform well, but maybe they don't have experience, right? So when they hit the age of 25, they also have experience and their bodies are allowing them to perform very well. But after the age of 35, even if they have experience, but their bodies no longer allow them to, same thing that's happened to like a lot of boxers. You see Tyson now. I can beat Mike Tyson now. You know what I'm saying? Like if they put me against Mike Tyson, he's a heavyweight. I'm not a heavyweight, but I'll probably beat him. I'll probably knock him out. So it's because as we get older, uh, 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 our the our bodies kind of like we lose energy basically. So that's being too limited, bro. Like you want to always be getting better, becoming more powerful, discovering new things, and having more access to things the older you get. But that's not how it works in this realm. So how can you expect people to be okay? How can you expect people to actually be happy and truly feel like this is really enjoyable? It feels empty. It feels it's hollow. It's cold. You can tell that it was never about us. If it was about us, whatever created this will always work on us becoming better, right? Something is not right. Yeah, I tell you guys that you must listen to your intuition, man. If you can sense that something is not right, don't pretend as if things are okay. That's one of the biggest mistakes that we make as humans. We like to pretend as if things that are not okay are okay. One of the biggest mistakes, bro. You can say that now, man. This ain't it. This ain't right. But yeah, it's all okay. It's all right. Like no, man. Be as real as possible. If this doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. Let's not say it feels right, even if it doesn't feel right. That's gonna uh make it easy for us to make the right decisions. You're gonna make the wrong decisions because you feel like something is that you can feel it deep down that is not right is actually right. Or it's better to feel like something that is not right is right. Because I think that's what we're being uh, encouraged to that's how we're being encouraged to respond to negative things. If a funeral happened, uh I, I, I heard on the news that there's a bus with like around 40 people that got involved in an accident and a lot of them died. We mustn't be like, God knows what he's doing. Like, no. If your family member dies in a car accident, let's not stand, uh, let's not say this at their funeral that, oh, God knows what he's doing. God, this and that. I remember when we had my dad's funeral. I was like, you know what, man? If my dad was my dad alone, like he didn't have any other children, like I would control everything, bro. Like you, nobody's gonna stand here and tell lies about God and all of that, because it was not even going to church. So no. But then my mother does go to church. My sisters go to church. So I was like, yeah, it is. It's fine. It's not like I'm his only child. Because people stand in front of people and lie, bro. You could live a horrible life, suffer a lot, but and die, and people stand in front of other people and lie about what you've been through. Like they kind of like not acknowledging what you've survived, basically. Like, yeah, it's God. God knows what He's doing. Let's praise God. God is good all the time. Like, no, dude is evil if He's allowing, what has happened to these people who, died in horrible accidents. We want life to be meaningful, and it must end well. There must be meaning. You must look at a person's life and be like, yo, yeah, I understand the meaning, bro. I understand why you went through what you went through. I understand what you've had to learn and all of that. But we look at people's lives who have passed on and be like, what was that? Um, You know what I'm saying? What was that? What is it? What was it all about? What did they gain? What's beautiful about the experience that they've had? And you can't like justify their experience. You can't say why their experience was actually good. It just feels like it was bad. It was sad. It was not a beautiful. It was a bad experience, right? And a lot of people have had bad, like their lives was just bad, from the beginning until the end. Even the people who become rich and experience the good side of life, in the end it feels empty. In the end it feels lonely. Growing up, I used to admire celebrities over like, oh, celebrities are happy and all of that. But because of the rise of social media, we get to know about, like, they are everywhere. They're talking about their experiences. They're beefing online on Twitter, Facebook, releasing these songs all the time. Like it's much easier now. So you get to realize that even the people that you think are really doing that well, they're not really doing that well. You know, they're not really doing that well. So yes, they have all these millions, but they feel empty inside. They feel alone. They still, like, they're so used to the things that they have. Yes, this person lives in a mansion, but what is it that they're really enjoying? Their wife still divorced them. Akon's wife divorcing him. It's sad, bro. I never understood why rich people get married. Like, if there's something that you must understand is this: don't put a person in a situation where they can gain from your fall. Never, right? Never put a person in a situation where they can gain from your downfall, because they will work on your downfall if they can gain something from your downfall. So never give another person that kind of power. So if you're married to a person and they know that if you die, they're gonna get millions, hey, humans have evil hearts, bro. Remember, last week I was because this story that I was following, this lady that was a teacher, she killed her husband. They worked in the same school. That's what's crazy. They worked in the same school. She killed her husband because she wanted money. She knew she was gonna get a lot of money when he dies. She didn't love him. I mean, like, who wants that much, like that kind of money? Like, if women, you don't even expect a woman to want that much money, especially where I live. Like, women where I live, they just want to live in a good house. Like, they're not like Andrew Tate. You know what I'm saying? They're not like, yo, I want to buy a Ferrari. I want this and that. Like they're not like that. They just want enough, really. Men are the ones who might really want to be rich, and the reason is because they want power. Men are addicted to power. Women, not so, not really. So yeah, I was just following the story, and yeah, it was confirmed that the lady did what she was accused of doing. She set up a husband, and the way that they killed him was horrible because they used a hammer, hit him with a hammer, on his knees, on his ribs. Like it's horrible, bro, because he put her in a situation where she can gain something when he dies. She's looking at the situation and be like, damn. So it never put, like, human beings are too damn evil for you to put them in that kind of situation. Even if a person loves you, they can fall out of love with you because of what they can benefit from that. Like, damn, if I stop loving this person, I can get this, I can get that. They start planning, and they become obsessed with the things that they think they can have after you're gone. So they're like, oh, but if you don't put the person in a situation where they can benefit from your downfall, then that's good. Because it's not like we're good people. It's not like we are trying to be good people. Maybe God doesn't know what he's doing. Somebody says you cannot beat Mike Tyson. That's funny. I mean, I think I can, man. Like, dude is old. Plus, I used to be a boxer, so. But yeah, I mean, there's many signs that show us that we are cooked. I've had a feeling that we're cooked from the beginning. When we were forced to do things that we didn't want to do, and you think, okay, maybe now I have to suffer. I'll suffer now and laugh later. Uh, our high school principal used to say, suffer now and enjoy later, or enjoy now and suffer later. So it's your choice. So we've kind of like had a feeling that as we get older, things will become easier. But what happened is that as we got older, things actually became worse, like much worse. Like the load became heavier. So I knew we were cooked from the beginning, but life is only proving that we're cooked, because things don't get easy for people. Like I was telling you that our bodies also, eh, when we reach a certain age, our bodies stop working the way your body will stop working the way that it was working. So it's life. It's you know even your ability to make yourself happy. You won't. It will be much harder for you to make yourself happy when you reach a certain age. You'll get to a point where you're bored by everything: the music, the noise, going out, communicating with people, all of that. It gets to a point where everything bores you. Everything that used to not bore you when you were 20, you find that now it bores the shit out of you. You try to listen to hip hop and it just sounds like garbage. You try to watch a movie and you just don't enjoy it. I never thought that there will come a time when I watch a movie and not enjoy. Like, I don't enjoy a lot of movies, bro. A lot of movies that I would have been able to enjoy if I was 15, if I was 20. I used to like movies, bro. But now I don't even watch movies. I don't even like sometimes it feels like a total waste of time because a lot of movies suck. Like, damn, which movie should I watch? Like this year, I don't know if I've watched a movie that will be like, it's that interesting. Like, a lot of movies are like the same, you know. Yes, there's something that I'm going to gain from watching like any movie, really, because it's a story. Like, if someone tells me their story, there'll be something that I'll learn from their story, whether the story is a good story or not. So there's something that I gained from watching movies, but it doesn't mean that I enjoy movies. I don't enjoy movies anymore. Like a lot of movies are just so yeah. As we get older, it does get to a point where we've been through a lot that we're unable to feel good, right? Like you've been through so much that feeling good feels wrong. Like everything in your body doesn't even want to feel good about this. Like you're able to tell that all of it is nonsense. So you ain't even justified to feel good about it, right? So that's what's going on in this room, man. What surprises me is that people are unable to see that we're cooked. Like the majority of people are not able to see that, and I think it's because we grew up being programmed to think that we are having a positive experience, right? You look at life itself and you're like, this is positive, this is something positive, this is something to benefit something from. And because of that, no matter what happens, so you see, here's what happens, right? When horrible things happen, you will be trying to justify these horrible things, trying to make these horrible things look good because you believe you are having a positive experience. It'll be like if there was a prophet, and I've seen this a lot in different churches, right? So there's this guy who's like the man of God, who's evil. Dude got bad intentions. He's straight up evil, right? He can do evil things to his members and get away with it because they're already telling themselves that he's good. So he can stand in front of and stand on top of people. I've seen many African pastors do that. So they'll stand on top of a person while they're preaching. So that person will be on their knees with their hands down, moving like this, and that person will be on top and they'll be preaching. Yeah, God is and that, you know, and that person will not realize that what's happening is just evil, you know, and the church members will not be able to realize that what's happening is evil because they already think that the guy is good, so he can get away with anything. He could stand in front of people and say, um no one is leaving the church until uh people have offered more than 10,000 rand, because you've only offered 5,000 rand. No one is getting out until you have offered more than 10,000 rand, and everyone will be inside the church. No one is getting out. And to get out, people must start uh, paying offering. Like they must actually start offering. But because they tell themselves that, oh, he's good because he's a man of God, they won't see that what he is doing is evil. So this is what is happening here. Because we have already told ourselves that what is going on in this realm is actually good, we are unable to see how evil the whole thing is. It's a serious problem, bro. That's actually a serious problem. Let me take a short break. Let's keep on liking the life. I think what I can do is play that song actually. Play that song. So yeah, let's keep on liking the life. The more we like the life, the more people get to the more people get to watch. I can't imagine what it would be like for you. Being brought up in a world that doesn't care for you. If I love you, tell me why would I do that to you? This world is so cruel, I wouldn't lie to you. If this place was good, I would have invited you. You don't see it, but I'm saving you like heroes do. From traumas, from headaches, from heartbreaks, from corruption, from greed and fake outbreaks. And if girl wants to, it's better where you are. I know it's tempting, but never be tempted to come. It's nothing real here, kid. All we do is lie, and we lie ourselves the most. That's how we got here. And the longer we stay, the more lies we invent. This world is a mess, everyone can tell. So I'm creating no slaves for nobody. I'm trying to speak the truth and save you with no worry. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. This really hurts me, but if the world was perfect, wouldn't make it right, but I doubt it. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. I know that it hurts, but if the world was perfect. Some people think I'm crazy, some wanna bring you here. They'll tell you that they love you, but they don't really care. They'll hate you till you break and say you're mentally sick. Then give you a bunch of pills that make you mentally sick. A lot of people lie, I'm just keeping it real. Acting like they do, but they don't care how you feel. Many people are in jail cause they were abused as kids. And we all know the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Ain't no love yet. Many people are full of hatred. They just act like they got your back, like a wheelchair in a wheelchair. When they are staring at your face, but the will tell you about when you've gone away. I'm trying to save you from this. And they think that I'm selfish, which got me to think they don't know what is selfish. They bring the keys into a world that is overpopulated. There's no job, just war. This world is overrated than the 1%. They're running the show, and there's nothing we can do. We just go with the flow. This world is gold. We all on our own. Jamie, so it's okay to feel alone. 'Cause this is not home. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. This really hurts me, but if the world was perfect, wouldn't make it right, but I doubt it. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. I know that it hurts, but if the world was perfect, imagine if I push you to this stupid red race. When you be chasing money, boys, girls every day. Chasing love like you know what it is. Like it's not just a chemical reaction that compels you to breathe. More slaves for the masters, motivated but free. What they tell you that you are, but nobody is free. We in the prison planet, nobody can live. Real, and they act like this life is easy. Kids are dying, politicians are lying, Mother Earth is crying, animal society. There's no compassion, there's no understanding, there's no hope, there's too much corruption. We all are trying, but we can't cope. So why bring it to hell if I can save it from it? Some don't see that it's hell, so they settle for it. And me, I've seen the truth, so I became an internationalist. I love it to death, that's why I'm bringing you to life. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. And this really hurts me, but if the world was perfect, we would make it work, but I doubt it. I can't imagine what it would be like for you. Being brought up in a world that doesn't care for you. If I love you, tell me why would I do that to you? This world is so cruel, I wouldn't lie to you. If this place was good, I would have invited you. You don't see it, but I'm saving you like heroes do. From traumas, from headaches, from heartbreaks, depression from greed and fake outbreaks. And the real ones too, it's better where you are. I know it's tempting, but never be tempted to come. It's nothing real here, kid. All we do is lie, and we lie to ourselves the most. That's how we got here. And the longer we stay, the more lies we invent. This world is a mess, everyone can tell. I'm creating no slaves for nobody. I'm trying to speak the truth and save you with no worry. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. This really hurts me, but if the world was perfect, wouldn't make it right, but I doubt it. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. I know that it hurts, but if the world was perfect, some people think I'm crazy, some when I bring you here. They'll tell you that they love you, but they don't really care. They'll hate you till you break and say you're mentally sick. Then give you a bunch of pills that make you mentally sick. A lot of people lie, I'm just keeping it real. Acting like they do, but they don't care how you feel. Many people are in jail because they were abused as kids, and we all know the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Ain't no love yet, many people are full of hatred. They just act like they got your back, like a wheelchair in a wheelchair. When they are staring at your face, but the will jet you about when you're going away. I'm trying to save you from this, and they think that I'm selfish, which got me to think they don't know what is selfish. They're breaking keys into a world that is overpopulated. There's no job, just war. This world is overrated than the 1%. They running the show, and there's nothing we can do. We just go with the flow. This world is cold. We all on our own. Jamie, so you can't feel alone. 'Cause this is not home. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. This really hurts me, but if the world was perfect, wouldn't make it right, but I doubt it. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. I know that it hurts, but if the world was perfect, imagine if I push you to the stupid red race. When you be chasing money, boys, girls every day. Chasing love like you know what it is. Like it's not just a chemical reaction that compels you to breathe. More slaves for the masters, motivated but free. What they tell you that you are, but nobody is free. We in the prison planet, nobody can live. Real, and they act like this life is easy. Kids are dying, politicians are lying, Mother Earth is crying, animals are sighing. There's no compassion, there's no understanding, there's no hope, there's too much corruption. We all are trying, but we can't cope. So why bring it to hell if I can save it from it? Some don't see that it's hell, so they settle for it. And me, I've seen the truth, so I became an internationalist. I love it to death, that's why I'm bringing you to life. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. And this really hurts me, but if the world was perfect, we would make it work, but I doubt it. Making some tea. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. And this really hurts me. But if the world was perfect, we'll make it work. But I doubt it. Let's hear a song you like, Benedict, with good vibes. The problem is, you know, copyright issues. You use JBL. Yes, the JBL 110. Interesting how our bloodline will die because we suffer by not knowing what is going on. I mean, there's this quote that I liked from someone on Facebook. It said, no, it was a meme actually. So the caption said, "I'm ending my generational curses by not having children." Yeah, something like that. I'm making tea. Glad you dropped the full song. Making music is healing. We got this, man. Yeah, man, I need to be making more music because I have not been making music. That song I actually made it in 2021. Yeah, I made that song in 2021. Uh, when my channel was still new, actually. My channel was like maybe 2 months old. I mean, this channel is not really new, but I mean, like when I started like uploading videos, yeah, so yeah, I had been uploading for maybe 2 months, and then I made that song. Uh, so yeah, I need to make more songs like that. It's easy for me to write those kind of songs. Like, it doesn't even take time, because these are the things that I talk about all the time, and I feel like I'm much better than I was as a rapper. As you get older, you don't lose your skills. Like, you actually become better even if you're not doing it a lot, because people assume that, like, when it comes to like rap, they assume that if you're not going to be making music, then if you take 10 years without making music, when you make music, it's going to be much harder for it'll actually be easier because you have learned a lot within the 10 years. So now there's a lot to write about. It'll be harder if I'm making music every year, but if I take my time without really making music, then there's a lot. So I'm way better than I've ever been. So I do believe I can make a very good album, like a very, very good album. This reminds me of this guy, Malice, Pusha T's brother. He had not been in the game for like more than 10 years. He came back this year with Pusha T. And bro, they kill, like, every verse that he does is insane. Every verse that he does is insane. You can tell that, that's his thing. Only line I didn't agree with This dope song is that Mother Nature is hurting. I mean, the shitty nature is responsible for all the misery. Yeah, I mean, what is in nature basically, not necessarily what's behind nature, right? But yeah, that's I feel you. The hell room sucks. Yeah, man, we go through a lot. Someone says you can spend your whole life looking for love and never find it. But you know what's more tragic? You can spend your whole life looking for love and actually find it, but then watch the person that you love slowly falls out of love with you because nature does that. So you do find love, but that person that you love starts to fall out of love with you. And you can see that the breakup is inevitable. You know, the person is going to leave you. There's nothing you can do. That's really painful. If you've never been in a serious relationship, you think a breakup is something easy to deal with. It's like one of the most difficult experiences that you can have in this realm. It's losing a person that you love, you know. So that's what this realm is doing to us. Make you fall in love with a person and then you lose them and you deal with that. And you can't um you can't just be like, I'm just gonna switch my feelings off. It doesn't work that way. You're right off the top. You're right. Oh, it's off the top. I'm working on some conscious rap. Myself feels real like releasing. Um, I'm mostly right. I'm mostly right. But yeah, man, it's good to write stuff down. You know, like how you feel and all of that, and turn it into a song. It's good. Yeah, it's effed up that we have to consume carbon based life forms to sustain ourselves. Deep thinking is a cause. I'm envious of those who can enjoy this place and not be horrified by it. I don't know. I never feel jealous of people who seem to be enjoying this lie, because I think the problem is some people are just not that aware. And because of that they keep on making mistakes. You don't want to keep on making mistakes in a room like this. You need to do things that are in your best interest, because this room would always punish you for your mistakes. What this room does is that it blinds you, so it makes you do stupid things after it has blinded you. And then when you do these stupid things, then it punishes you for doing these stupid things. So it's better to be aware, even though you're going to suffer for being too aware. But I think it's better than making mistakes and not understanding why you are suffering, even if you are causing your own suffering through the mistakes that you're making. Like you're making it worse, basically. Because of course, in this room, suffering is inevitable, but you can make it worse for yourself if you are not that aware. It seems like in order to enjoy life, another organism has to suffer at the cost of your enjoyment. Yeah, that is true, and it tells you a lot. And I think life is like that on every level, and that is why humans believed in animal sacrifice back then. Ask yourself this question, because we, in every culture, animal sacrifice is a thing. Animals, like it was very common where I live. They would sacrifice animals, believing that they're sacrificing animals to the gods. You know, and it's something that used to happen. It's just that we're changing now. So we need to ask ourselves why, because these animals have to go through an imaginable uh, suffering when they are being sacrificed. We don't suffer. The ones who are sacrificing do not even suffer. What is the animals that are being sacrificed that actually suffer? But why would God want that? Why would God want you to sacrifice something? The excuse will be that it's so that he will see that I can sacrifice my animal, something that I can eat. I can sacrifice him, eat to him, so it shows that I will choose him. No, no, it's nothing to do with that. It seems like he just wants living beings to suffer. So when you are doing that, it's happy. It's like back then there used to be kings who would make people fight for entertainment. The king will be on top. They'll have like this stadium, and the king will be on top with his wife. They're watching the fight, and the more brutal the fight is, the happier they become. So it seems like this gods want sacrifice because that makes them happy. Like it gets to a point where they're too bored. So when we sacrifice, when we mistreat each other, when we cause suffering, they're happy. That is why, for every living being uh, to enjoy, another living being has to suffer. For any, like they, for you to, someone was talking about how they like chicken. For you to enjoy chicken, an animal has to die, and yeah, that's when you actually be able to enjoy it. I recently saw a documentary on Thailand's monk crisis. The monks have been caught stealing and doing math at a temple. Quite pervasive. I remember that Ray guy on TikTok covered a story about some monks, that there was this girl who was scamming monks. Actually, she would have sex with them, and record everything and tell them to give her money, otherwise she's gonna expose them. It seems like humans are humans, bro. So yeah, maybe the monk culture is ending. Maybe in the beginning monks were integrous, but now it seems to be very difficult for them. You said it gets dopamine levels to 100, but it kills you in the process, man. It's messed up when you see a person who, like, their face change. You can tell that this person is addicted to something, but they still keep on doing it. But it shows you how much we want to be happy, right? It's a sign that people want to be happy. They want to feel good. So they'll do whatever it takes for them to feel good, even if it's destroying them, you know, Benedictine gotta react to these NDEs, man. These iconic beings will do anything. Actually, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I will react to some NDEs. I think I should watch. Like you gave me an idea on what to watch. Actually, maybe I should watch more NDE videos. Um, it's just that a lot of people lie, so that's the problem. But yeah, I need to watch these videos. I think after this live, I'm actually gonna be watching a video about NDEs. Like, if there's a video that you think I must watch, please post the link after this live is ended. Post the link so that I can watch the video about the NDE. Because obviously, it's important to know what we might face when this ends. What kind of beings are we going to be dealing with? How powerful they are? How we can escape their trap? It's important. It's very important. In fact, I think you should spend your whole life trying to prepare yourself for that. Prepare yourself for what might happen after this. That is why I tell you guys that let's try our best to not be affected by a lot of things that be happening here, right? Let's try our best to not allow ourselves to be controlled by our own emotions, by our own feelings. Because these beings, obviously, that's how they're gonna manipulate us. They'll make sure that you have all these feelings. I remember I've watched this other and this lady talking about her NDE, and she was like, "Yeah, man, I felt a lot of love, when I saw Jesus." Oh, she wasn't talking about Jesus; she was talking about God. She's like, "Yo, I felt a lot of love, like love I've never felt before." And I'm like, that's manipulation by default. You don't need to feel anything. God needs to talk to you and make sense, right? Why do I gotta feel a lot of love when I meet God? I don't need to feel anything. And God needs to be like, let's talk, buddy. This is what you were going through in life. And yeah, the reason why you're going through this is because of this and that. That's when it will start making sense. But the problem is people who now, someone says, you know what I'm going to do with near death experiences? I'm going to create a new channel. Let me create a new channel that will be specifically dedicated to NDEs. I think that would be good. Or that would be specifically about me reacting. Because I want this channel to be about what I'm doing, like now, like going live, philosophizing about things. I think it would be better that way. So when I create a channel, I'm going to tell you the name of the channel. And yeah, that's going to be the focus. And that's gonna help me. Like that's a good thing because I'm also gonna know a lot about NDEs and know a lot about what to expect because I will watch more videos. So we're gonna react on these videos together. It will actually be better if I'm doing it live. But yeah, man, we have to be ready for whatever is next, and we mustn't allow our emotions to control. Like, I don't allow myself to be controlled by emotions in this realm. I want to think as rationally as possible. I do like it when my feelings are in alignment with my deepest thoughts, with my highest thoughts, right? I feel like that's a good thing. But if there's a conflict between my highest thoughts and my emotions, I'm still choosing my highest thoughts. I'm going to go with what really makes sense because we get manipulated a lot in this realm, and that is not a good thing. That isn't something to be proud of. So, of course, when people be having NDEs, they get manipulated. I drink tea without sugar, black tea, no milk, nothing, just tea. Uh, it's healthy. Like, a lot of people don't know that tea is healthy, and it actually gives you energy. Benedict must do a full commentary on archaic streams weekly, monthly. I've watched these videos. Is it still around? I've watched. I used to watch his videos maybe 2 years back. Um, I don't know what to say about a lot of things that he says. Like, because I don't even remember most of the things that he talks about. But we'll check some of his videos and see where he's at. The problem with NDEs is your brain makes the experiences based on your religion. I watched a lot. Okay. Why do you assume that it's the brain? Maybe brains don't even exist. Think of it this way: in your dreams, you have a brain, right? If they had technology in your dreams to scan your brain, you will actually have a brain. It's not like when they try to scan your brain, there will be water. So maybe the brain is part of the illusion. So what I think about NDEs is that because reality itself is not real, whatever is going to be more convincing for you is what will be. It's the experience that you'll be given when you have an NDE. But what these archons want is for you to come back. So they will deceive you however they can. The same way that if a person wanted to be in my life, they won't use the same method that they've used to get closer to someone. They'll be like, okay, it's Benedictine. I know what Benedictine likes. So I'm going to show him what he likes so that he will want to be closer to me, right? So I think that's how it works. They figure out what you're interested in. So if you're a Christian, but oh, this is going to be very easy. I mean, we just have to show this person Jesus. We good. This is gonna be the easiest because they don't question anything. But if it's someone like Benedictine, they'll probably try to make it more complicated. Like ish. We have to understand that one is crazy. He's not gonna be very easy to manipulate. So let's try different ways. Let's see what's gonna work. Let's make him think we're on his side. That's probably gonna work. I think I understand why nice people suffer. Nice people suffer because they sacrifice themselves for the benefits of others. Yeah, yeah. That is true on that's true on some level. Yes, it will make sense. The demons would appear as a being of light, given they are already created the sun in this realm. Yeah, man, a lot of things, and actually, what I'm gonna say is gonna seem a bit odd. There's an episode of Rick and Morty. There's an episode of Rick and Morty. In this episode, there were alien parasites that were able to give people false memories. These parasites were only able to give people good memories. Rick was aware that there were these aliens and they were trying to, they were trying to control everyone in the world, really. S- So he had to try to figure out which ones were the aliens because they were able to give you false memories. So it will make you think that you were their friend their whole life. Your whole life. So you know them your whole life. So you won't know whether your mother is actually one of the parasites or your girlfriend, because the memories you at there's no way to tell whether the memory is real or false. But Moti realized something important. He realized that these parasites are only able to give people good memories. So it was like the only way for us to figure out which one are the aliens and which ones are real is if we can think of bad experiences that we've had with people who are in our lives. That don't mean that real. So what am I getting into? Um, I think we also need to be careful with people who are too perfect in our lives. Very, very careful. Because what I think is gonna happen when we die is already happening now. I think we're still being manipulated even today. So maybe there'll be people who come into our lives that too damn perfect, too perfect, I think we need to be extra careful because we have this thing of hating people who are not perfect. Like we want to punish people for their mistakes. Hey, you are this and that. Like, no, like we need to love or try to connect with people that we feel are real. And people who are real are not perfect. You cannot be perfect in this realm, right? It's either you're perfect or you're real. If you are real, sometimes you will be angry. Sometimes you will make mistakes. Sometimes you will cry. Sometimes you will do things that will make you look weak. It's part of being human. But if someone is too perfect, you have to ask yourself, how is this person perfect? Some people enjoy life because they don't question existence. We suffer because we question everything and we go down a rabbit hole to the point that we realize we know nothing. I think some people just don't acknowledge that they're suffering or they don't want to admit that they're suffering. I think people suffer, even though people who are ignorant and their own ignorance might make their suffering much worse because they will do dumb things because of their ignorance. So yeah, I wouldn't say questioning things is the root of suffering. If you practice being sovereign, at least mentally, see what happens. Yeah, man, that's what I think is the next step as we evolve. Try to control what's happening here. Try, try your best. Try to be mindful. It must be something that you're doing and nonstop. The problem is that sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget to be mindful. Sometimes we forget to be sovereign, and we just let our thoughts wander, you know, and you find yourself thinking thoughts that you don't want to think, and it's making you feel horrible, But if you were able to catch yourself thinking thoughts that you don't want to think, and you'd be like, you know what? Let me imagine myself in a situation that I would prefer. And then you imagine yourself in a situation that you prefer, and you start to feel better. But still very interesting because of the love feeling aspect. Like people did ayahuasca and they didn't feel love, only psychedelic confusion. And that is the drug of brain really. But some people do encounter beings that make them feel a lot of love. Everything is loosh, every single thing. Yeah. I'm confident if you started job working construction labor, clean up and what, not 40 hours a week, you cheer. Hmm? Bruh, in the end, is these beings dangle a guy's dead keys in front of him to bell him to tell him to come back. Yeah, I think those are the kind like the level of manipulation is gonna be next level, man. Some of us have lost people that we loved while we were still young, and we're telling ourselves that those were soulmates. Like, yo, if this person didn't die, my whole experience would be much better now. So imagine if you meet them in the afterlife and they say, You were on the right path, and I was watching you the whole time. But you need to work on one thing so that we can be together forever. Just one thing. If you can work on this one thing, then it means me and you are going to be together forever. A lot of people will fall for it. The same way that people are still controlled by their feelings when it comes to relationships. Like, why do we choose people who don't even have our best interest at heart? We choose the people who don't have our best interest at heart because we're still controlled by our feelings. So obviously, when people have NDEs, and I've never came across a video of a person who had a near death experience, who've met a person who've made them feel a lot of love, but who was like, you know what, I ain't listening to you, bro. I don't give a damn how much I love you. I ain't listening to you. You have to, let's put love aside here. I don't even want to feel love right now. I just want you to talk. Tell me what's going on, and I'll see if what you're telling me makes sense. It can't be about feelings anymore because that's what led to my suffering when I was still on earth. So now I want to think. Now I want to reason. Now I want to get it right. I've never came across a person saying that on their NB. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm good. We do like people that are perfect. This is why we have to be careful because most people project their perfection and pretend to be perfect around us so they can appear more likable. Yeah, especially if there's something to benefit. People will pretend to be perfect if there is something they can benefit from you. People will show you their true nature if there's nothing to benefit. That's what you must realize. That is why people are horrible to homeless people. You know, that is why people are horrible to people that they feel are unattractive or people that they feel like have nothing to offer. So be careful around these kind of people because, like, be careful. Look at how they treat others, especially the people who are disadvantaged. Look at how they treat people who are disadvantaged because they show their true colors when they're treating these people, right? You'd realize that they're not perfect. They just want to be likable because there is something that they want from you, and that's it. That's what it's about, right? So yeah, be careful, man. No one is perfect in this realm, and a lot of people are not real. You come across my channel and you think, perfect must Benedict must be the most messed up person because of the things that he talks about, only to find out that I'm the closest thing to, you know, not necessarily the closest thing to perfect, but I'm the realist. Like, I'm just real. That's the thing. Like, I'm just showing you the truth. So if people spoke their truth, they showed you who they really are. You realize that, oh, nobody perfect here. You know, the prison planet theory is just so true to ignore. Yeah, man. How do you ignore that? I mean, even if you were not interested in the prison planet theory, but if someone told you that, you'd automatically want to listen. But what do you mean? Because that sounds bad, bro. Like, you saying there are some aliens that want loosh, and they kept all of us here in this prison because they want to control us and all of that. That's bad. That sounds bad. So I must try to figure out if that's true or not. So you automatically take it seriously. Well, thank you guys for joining the live. Today we're not gonna talk on Discord. That is something that I need to do. But thank you guys for joining the live. If you caught the live later, you can rewatch the whole thing. There were a lot of things that I was saying in the beginning that I think are also very important. Let's like the live so that a lot of people will be able to see it. Let's keep this going. Thank you guys.